Hello everyone. Today's video is on mastering being the alchemist and the magician in moving forward, and how both are essential in the releasing and the transcending things, in mastering your powerful ability to use your playful power of imagination to fine tune your perception and to let your frequency lead. And if you've clicked on this video, you may resonate with 144 hertz as a frequency. If you've ever been drawn to guided to videos on the chosen ones or the 144,000, not being actual people or that you've been selected or chosen, but how you specifically as a frequency chose to be here at this time in human form, and you're vibrating at the frequency of 144 hertz, which is a specific encoding and which is required to bring a returning of what I believe in my own experience and perception, a decoding of the false matrix in return of the true matrix of the divine matrix and the rising of the divine feminine, and bringing greater restoration of peace, harmony, truth, beauty, abundance, prosperity, joy back into the planet, and more of the return to our natural states of being. And what also may resonate with you, and I've mentioned this in previous videos also, is star seeds and the 144, also that being a frequency, and a frequency that you vibrate at. And many who hold this coding within them in their cellular DNA experience certain challenges and difficulties in their background, in their childhood, in past narratives, your lived experiences, because of the density of the human experience and the wanting to be invisible and to hide or to hold on to stories of pain or wounding, because they hold you back from what you truly came here to do, which you may have a human egoic fear over. And that is stepping into your heart-led leadership with courage and vulnerability and truth and honesty of who you are, and following the calling that is coming from you, in allowing yourself to be led through your being and not your doing and your productivity, not through the linear systematic way of doing things, yet balancing and harmonizing your truth and your authenticity and your way of being, in working with the systems and structures that we have in place as best you can, in harmony, in at one with all, as equally many of those systems are currently collapsing, and into the next 2 years as this vibrational shift is going on, we're being guided to anchor in greater peace and serenity, and to follow our unique wisdom in honesty and in truth with ourselves. And previous video that come out of the 7-7 and aligning with truth, I feel very much guided to share a lot of my own truth and being honest about my background, and perhaps give you some more insights into me in this video, and how it may support you or may resonate with you in resonance through our human stories, and storytelling can connect us to one another and can perhaps activate you in your truth, in finding what resonates for you, what doesn't. Please feel free to absorb or take in or work with what does feel true and resonant for you, and to discard what doesn't, and equally to see the blessing of that and how it may activate a higher calling within you to speak and share your truth, as in what is true for you in your body, and your wisdom and insights that you may receive in this video that are not in alignment with what I share, because something has been activated in your own intuition and in your own body. And I absolutely wholeheartedly support that in a way that it may empower you or allow your energy to expand, or allow more people to be a witness to hearing and receiving your unique truth from your unique soul frequency. Also, empowerment is huge for me, and I love working with people to help them uncover their own truths, but not that it's to follow mine, but to uncover and gain greater clarity on theirs. I really feel that it's something that we should all hold more space for in this world, and honor and respect in one another as we attempt to navigate living harmoniously in unity and in harmony, in showing up for one another and supporting one another as well. And it can be a messy, complicated process if you feel you're wanting to live more in alignment with the truth of who you are without disappointing or hurting or causing harm to another. When I was writing on this only yesterday, and it's going to be in my book, which is coming out later this month. And I'm holding myself accountable there and saying that that's even putting a little pressure on me to make sure that that does definitely happen, because I'm still doing edits here and there. So there I'm holding myself accountable, and stay tuned for more. But the idea of how, regardless of what choice and decision you make, even if your intention is not to cause harm, it impacts and affects something if you go one way or another. If you think of the movie Sliding Doors, where she gets on the train and when she doesn't get on the train, there are consequences rippling out into the universe, regardless of which choice you make. And in terms of making your choices, the best thing you can do is to follow what's truly in alignment with your heart and soul and feels true to you, knowing that your feedback is going to reveal to you, the breadcrumbs from the universe if you're going the right way, and you always are going the right way when you're true to yourself and following your own inner guidance and intuition. But anyway, coming back to the 144 frequency hertz, people who have that may have come into this density plane, this human experience, feeling that they struggle with any of these, of feeling you don't belong or don't quite fit in, that you stand out, stick out. You just want to blend in, perhaps adapt yourself somehow to fit in with certain environments or situations or social circles, but then feel like you're not being you. And then even the more that you try to do that, the more you actually stand out, because the weirdness of it can be felt. You're just going against yourself and not being yourself. And then the more that you are actually just being yourself, the more you get a pushback or resistance or get abandoned or rejected or whatever the emotional experience may come up in that as well. But just feeling different and feeling like you're different. But then most people do have that. Most people do identify with that experience or resonate with it, or feeling that someone else is somehow different to them, or someone else has something that they don't. And that these programs of scarcity or lack or separation, and how that's all an illusion, because we are all inherently the same from a point of oneness, yet have a unique soul frequency as an individual, and something to be respected and appreciated and valued and enjoyed, and brought out even more. Yet with this background of feeling you don't quite belong, or you've had issues around your home, perhaps you have been born into or grown up in a family where one or both of your parents were narcissistic, or the other one was highly traumatized or emotionally immature, unavailable, or codependent somehow. And then you may have taken on a role where you felt you didn't have a natural childhood in having to take on other energies or meet other people's needs or transform and shift into being a high achiever or a people pleaser or the carer or the person who is just silent and absorbing all of the energy in their frequency and their transmuting all of the heaviness in the density, and therefore feeling so clouded in not knowing what's you, what's not you, who you are, your sense of identity, and perhaps struggling with that. And then you may have had issues with feeling safety and security and stability, or feeling grounded in your own home, feeling that you're emotionally safe or psychologically safe, and that you're free to have your own expression, your viewpoint, your creativity comes out of you, that may have been suppressed or dimmed down or denied and disregarded in some way that may have affected your voice and speaking and sharing your voice. And these traumas or situations that may have happened, take it as it resonates for you, again, as I'd said, may have caused you to hide yourself somehow. And how this has all been by design, in it being like the flip side of two sides of the same coin, of you're here to be highly visible and to share your calling and to share your truth and to be in your leadership. And on the other side of that, there's high insecurity and doubt and fear and feeling that there's no stable foundation under you from coming from these backgrounds of instability around the home, of insecurity, of feeling different, of taking on certain roles that were not you, that there can be the energy of wanting to be invisible and wanting to simply be in your own frame and be in your own energy, and the resistance and pushback to that when absolutely you came here with a specific calling to be in a leadership role, to share your voice, to come forward with spiritual gifts that you have, to share them in a way that your presence and in your being, you can share specific gifts and talents that are unique to you that nobody else has. And that this is an important part of your mission here to fully step into claiming and being. So I'm just checking my notes again for what I'd written down as those background details, the sense of not belonging, of issues around the home, of feeling different, of standing out, of wanting to hide, of feeling that you want to be invisible, you don't want to be seen. And this can come from the persecution wound and the witch wound as well, if you recall previous lifetimes of having been burnt alive and all of those kind of things, or being outcast by society, of being going through like horrendous experiences. And it's only natural that the body would remember that and be wanting to protect you, when there's a need to transcend that and to see from a higher perspective and to connect more in line with the higher self, to see that this time gets to be different. This time you have new wisdom. This time you can return to a state of wholeness and embodiment, so that you transcend that fear and connect more to your heart and be in a state of love and gratitude, in which that actually acts as a buffer to you. It encases your auric field in safety and protection, and it allows you to feel at home within like this honing device within you, connecting to the home, which has always been within you. This is why I love Reiki and connecting people to Reiki, because it activates that remembrance and that sensation, the feeling. So moving beyond theory into knowing from lived experience and embodiment of that energy, of connecting to the home within you and feeling a groundedness and security and stability within your own frame and field. So aside from those things, you may have experienced a lot of traumas. You may have, if like me, experienced more than one near-death experience, and may have memories of being resuscitated, of having unexplained chronic illnesses or skin issues, whatever may have come up. And I know in the medical profession quite being able to explain to you or tell you what it is that you actually have. I mean, I've had situations where I was in hospital and had a variety of tests run. Doctors from all over the world coming to see me, and no one able to pinpoint exactly what was going on with me. I mean, I left after a couple of weeks still like, what was that? Have you ever had an experience like that? And it's an awakening, it's an activation within you, and having these experiences that you may almost die or literally die and be, revived to gain access to codes or upgrades within your energy, or come back in with a certain awareness that leads you more on your path or on your calling of being the vibration that you came here to be, and to understand it more and to understand yourself more, that you're always surrounded by your spirit team and have guardian angels and protection and so on. And again, take that as it resonates for you. You would have an increased sensitivity to energy, to others' energy, that when people are speaking to you, you pick up on subtleties much more, on body language, on the tone of someone's voice and how they're speaking to you. If you feel that there's a softness and there's a gentleness and there's a tenderness, there's a concern for you, there's a care for you, there's a presence, there's a sense of safety and trust. Or if you feel there's a harshness, there's a meanness, and so on. And you will have been navigating, not taking that personally and alchemizing it in order to understand from a higher state of awareness that this is a mirror of that person's internal landscape and never anything personal, nothing to do with you. And navigating, being able to feel that person's internal world, perhaps within your own frame, and not taking it on and not allowing yourself to be swayed or influenced or affected by that. You may feel highly emotionally empathetic, and that is a beautiful gift to have, provided that you're caring for yourself and not absorbing what is not yours, not allowing others to project onto you, and following spiritual practices of energy cleansing and so on to care for your own frame and your own well-being. Super important. But that's childhood dynamic, if you feel you've skipped over certain things or were not allowed the fullest expression of your shine, of your truth, you were dimmed down, not listened to, disregarded, neglected, abandoned, abused, whatever it was, traumatized somehow, dismissed, gaslit perhaps, and having your reality invalidated, it can be very dehumanizing. And having to reconnect with that and reconnect with your own truth again. And this is something a lot are experiencing in this Uranus and Gemini. It's very the mental energy and this kind of spiritual warfare in that sense of people reconciling with their own truth and questioning what is actually true or real out there. And you're getting more information coming through about what's really happening and what's really going on underneath the pyramids, and all of these things just being brought to light now that were always there. The things that have been covered up would have remained hidden, coming to truth and coming to light, and also activating your own remembrance and wisdom and truth within you, in you seeing through the veil more and you seeing through illusion and saying, well, that's not true for me, or I'm seeing through this now and seeing it, and then how that may feel in terms of spiritual awakening, discombobulating and disorientating, as in, like, well, I thought this person was this way, and actually they're not. And you see masks come off, and you see you may navigate questioning yourself to coming back into having full confidence in your own intuition and your own truth and your own inner guidance, and letting that lead the way, drowning out the external and the outside noise, so that you come back into balance and harmony in your own energy, yet still feel so sensitively, so empathically connected to events in the world and things that are happening, and this vibrational shift that we are going through in a huge way right now, and into 2027, and these 2 years, a lot of systems are collapsing and falling apart, things that are no longer working for us, that people are seeing through things more and no longer wanting to participate in certain dynamics or energies that they know are not beneficial to their well-being and to their expansion of their energy, to their sense of inner peace and stillness and tranquility and harmony. And people are shifting in values as well, in valuing time abundance and serenity within your energy over financial gain and material success. And for instance, wanting to invest in going on a retreat experience and receiving activations and feeling more empowered in frequency, understanding that your frequency is what is creating certain realities for you. So therefore, you're not interested in buying a new car or investing in those things, or they might bring you joy. You may take it as it resonates for you. Yet where you were giving your time and energy may be shifting, and then you no longer want to be giving 60 hours of your week to your job because you're saying, like that's just draining my soul. I'm prioritizing my time for my meditation, my journaling, my fitness, my looking after my body, my spending time with people that I care about, my deep meditative practice that I appreciate, because I'm taking care of my health and I value that more than being a slave to something that I can see is truly actually not serving me in the long run. People paying more attention to what is giving them an inner enrichment and inner fulfillment that's more sustainable, adding to their longevity, adding to their health, adding to their frequency maintenance and elevated states, in shifting their reality and becoming more the magician to create better for themselves. And creating space for that requires simplification and no longer being available to energies and circumstances and environments and relationships and connections and media and consumption that is taking away from your energy of creation and creativity. Because if you feel the weight of the world on you and you feel this sense of burden or responsibility, there's something in you saying, I have to do something. I know that I came here with some mission or plan, and I have to do so. I have to show up. I have to fix something. I have to change something. It's a sign that there's a need to meditate more and to get clearer, to gain clarity on what that would be for you in a day-to-day way, excuse me, that also fills you up in mind, body, and soul, that allows you to feel more harmoniously connected to that divine channeling and connection and creative expression. And that abundance can also be through having space to explore your creativity and to allow that unique, weird talent that you may just brush off as nothing and not even give full attention to as your unique magic that the world needs more of. You can explore that, you can play with it, you can tap back into that childlike state, bringing a lot of inner child healing to you in allowing that aspect of your spirit to come out so that you are giving yourself soul nourishment and nourishing your soul and allowing that side of you to come back out to integrate your shadow aspects and to alchemize and be the magician in releasing and alchemizing, transmuting, giving love to everything in a healing capacity, while also creating more from your inner leadership through the energy of your being rather than the productive doing. That's not to say that you're not going to take action, but your action from a potent energy of enthusiasm and aliveness in heart and soul alignment is going to bring you greater rewards. It's going to bring you instant results. It's going to bring you magical connections and opportunities. It's going to feel more truthful and true to you, in resonance with you for your unique calling, rather than systemically going at things that you think you should do from the mental state because that's just the way it's always been done, or because that's what someone else does, or because that's what you've been told to do. When if nobody was telling you what to do, what would you want to be doing? And if money was not even in the equation, how would you want to be spending your time? How would you want to be? If you imagine that, you win the lottery right here, right now, and you have all the money that you've ever wanted, and you can even get into your playful imagination and say to yourself, oh my God, how can I give back to all of the people that have helped me? Who's the first person I would go visit? And what gift will I get along the way? You can get into happiness and joy about that and say, oh my God, I'm going to contribute to this organization. I've been wanting to do this for years. I'm so happy to give back to this society, whatever it is. I'm going to help the animals. I'm going to donate to this thing. I'm going to invest in my business. I'm going to go even bigger. I'm going to pay someone to make me a brand new website and I'm going to absolutely love it. I'm going to love that I can delegate that to somebody else. So I get to focus on my unique gifts and talents and go all in on what I'm good at and what I love doing, and take myself out of the things that are not bringing me joy and fulfillment, and happily employ someone else and give them money and make their family happy in this process. And you can get into playful imagination and say, okay, now I'm going to, I don't know where, I'm going to Egypt, or I'm going to Hawaii, or I'm going to the Bahamas, wherever it is, like on a holiday, or I'm celebrating and I'm taking my family and I'm giving back to my family on and donating to my local community. I'm going bigger with something, whatever, thinking of all of these things that you may want to do. And you go and you have a trip or you have a holiday, and you take some time out and you come back into yourself. And then after all that, then who are you and what are you doing and what are you committing to and how are you showing up every day? And what would that be? Because that would be you being in an energy of wholeness and abundance and prosperity and joy, and simply getting to choose exactly what it is you want to create and to go do it and make it happen. And what that would be as you being in your dharmic mission and calling and purpose of simply showing up and being yourself, and how it can ignite something in others, how it may add value, how it may just simply bring you joy. And through the radiance of that in your vibration, you're part of the collective healing of the planet through your being. And not that it's all about doing, but do you allow yourself the space to slow down so that you can tune in and be clear on that inner alchemy, activating the inner magician so that you can create more from an energy of wholeness, having made complete peace with what may have gone on before, knowing that it was perfect design as part of your unfolding journey in activating you in alchemizing your invisibility wounds into taking ownership and charge in visibility and putting yourself out there. Let me know if this one is resonating with you. Apologies for the glasses on here. It's just quite bright and I take them off so you can actually see me. Another thing that I had written down in my notes here is that people who have these experiences tend to have this deep-seated or underlying fear of being found out, being discovered, being, as again, if imposter syndrome thing of, oh, there's the thing, or oh, that person is a hypocrite or contradictory, or um, they preach this, but they do that, whatever it may be. And yet we are all full of contradictions as human beings. And it's simply asking for you to integrate that and to give love to all aspects of yourself in full self acceptance. And that is being completely honest with yourself and being real with yourself. I'm just checking to see if there's anything else there. That fear of being found out can come from believing that you're not safe to be you in this world, in your way, in your authentic expression. And that's a complete illusion. You can see that for what it is and reframe and reclaim. I'm completely safe to be in my fullest radiant shine, in the authentic expression of my truth and frequency in a way that brings me joy in mind, body, soul, and bank account if you want to add that in. Okay, to remember that your home is within you, and then you can create and generate and activate that within your own auric field. I think that that is, yes, to take care of your emotions in this Cancer season is coming to me because many of you who clicked on this video may feel that you were taking on emotions of others as you were growing up, and therefore may feel that you require greater nurturing of your own emotions and your own self-care, and that you allow boundaries so that you're not taking on more than you're capable of in relation to anybody else. If you're working as a coach, as a healer, a therapist, somehow, that you may have a natural inclination to want to show up and to hold space and be present for others. And it is first and foremost most important that you hold that space and are present with yourself, and that you consistently choose to give from a state of wholeness and overflow, and not in a way that it overwhelms or burdens you or weighs you down, as a potential to dim your light or take you off your happy vibration. Okay, I think that's it. So these cards were, again, being the magician, the Hierophant had also come out, and the Queen of Pentacles, and the Hierophant was upside down. And this is kind of not wanting to follow the conventional path of wanting to blaze your own trail. Yet there is a need to be grounded in it and to be practical in how you nurture your inner world, how you nurture your inner stability and serenity within you. And it is through your serenity within, in your energy, that you create and experience serene realities and environments. If you can recall times where you claimed new energy within you and said, I no longer, whatever the situation is, I no longer entertain that. I'm no longer answering this. I'm no longer making myself available to the situation. And in the activation of that decision energetically, you see certain situations, dynamics, people disappear from your reality, as in they're no longer there because you're no longer a frequency match to you. And when you're dominating your day with serenity and peace and calm and inner stillness and tranquility and joy, you truly maintain such states in your reality, knowing that any obstacles that come up, you can transmute and alchemize through the energy of love and peace and calm. It truly serves you. This is the true way of the warrior, in the courage of following your heart and giving love to everything, including all former versions of yourself and all aspects of you, in all parts of you, being worthy and deserving of your love to whole new levels in integrated wholeness. I'm going to take a picture of the angel cards and pop it in as a post. We've got serenity, wisdom, and honesty. Affirmations are I'm serene and still. I listen to my wisdom, and I'm honest in thought, word, and deed. If you're wondering about karmically if your choice is the right choice to make when you're making a decision, or if you're working with healing others and concerned about energy and karma overall, you can call out this mantra that serves and benefits you in energy. It's in my Reiki 1 manual. I leave everything in divine right order for the greatest good and the highest joy of all concerned. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And so it is. That can help you make choices and decisions and show up in presence from an energy of right intention, of purity, of being in your heart, and allowing things to unfold as divinely orchestrated, rather than feeling that you're causing an interference or that you're enabling or supporting another on their journey in a way that could be sabotaging them from making their own breakthroughs through their own learnings, because we do all have our own pathways and our own pacing and our own time. It's important not to interfere with the natural progress that someone else can make through their own inner inquiry. If that one has resonated for you. If you're feeling that you're ready to step more boldly into your calling and inner leadership coming from you, from my next manual, I'm going to call out these questions as prompts for you to reflect on. How can I be in loving service to both myself and to others today? How can I make a difference today in how I show up for both myself and others? How can I fill up my own cup with bliss and radiate and share that happiness from my overflow? And then to observe, what are you making that mean? Does it have to have any meaning? Because you are the meaning maker. So you get to shift and transform and reframe things to have more positive meanings and to make the meanings that you prefer. And in shifting your self concepts, to see that new shift in your reality creation. Can I get real honest with myself, tying in with the energy? Am I committed to my happiness and joy? Is there an energy of self sabotage there anywhere? And allow your inner alchemist to deweed that from your garden so even more beautiful magic can thrive, bloom. Is self-discipline required or boundaries required? And am I willing and prepared to change? And I'm now hearing Michael Jackson's Man in the Mirror. Going to make a change. And it starts inside out from within us as the alchemist and magician. Within, we transform and create more of the reality creation that we prefer. I love doing this in my courses, my programs with others in ways that people are guided to align more with their unique calling and vision and feel supported on their unique soul journey and mission. If you would like to step in to receive activations for that with me to Reiki, you're most welcome to check out my reviews, to send me an email. Links are down below. I'd love to step into that space and be present to the unfolding for you. Thank you so much for listening, for liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing, and see you in the next one.